Hey guys, if you can hear me, give me a two in the chat. You're gonna see me okay, really, really fast, but let me know if you can hear me. Give me a two in the chat before we keep going because I don't want to talk if you guys can't hear me. So again, give me a two if you can hear me in the chat. Let's go, guys. Let me know. There we go. I'm like, wait, what? Do I have to leave and come back? Nobody can hear me. So I really wanted to have this conversation today, right? And at first I was going to do like a full-fledged sit down video, but can I be honest with y'all? Like, can I be honest and say that I really, really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, right, with my whole heart, then I feel like sitting down and filming a video on this topic, right? But it's something that is so uh widely discussed right now. And let me know really quick if whether or not you either have heard somebody say what I'm about to say now, or if whether or not you have been in this position where it's like, oh my God, all of these hairstylists and cosmetologists suck. They all suck. And these braiders are lazy. That's one thing that I hear all the time. Braiders are lazy. And today I want to address this once and for all. Okay. I am not a braider. Yes, I can braid, but I am not a braider. But this is such a widely discussed topic, right? Hey, boo. And then, okay, good. Thank you guys. I just want you to know I love you. I see you. Hi. Thank you for being with me today. Like, I really, really appreciate y'all, especially with all of the calamity in the world. You could be any other place but you here. Right. Okay. So, we see this all the time, right? Where it's like, okay, braiders are lazy. Braiders, they don't want to do their job. Well, today I want to show you that a braider's job is not to shampoo the hair and it is not to blow dry the hair. It's actually against what their license states that they can do, right? And if they do blow dry your hair, if they do shampoo your hair, they can lose their braider's license. And a lot of people don't understand this. You know why? Because COVID, and just stick with me for a minute because I'm going to give you proof. Not to mention, you guys have proof that you can see yourself. I left all of the links that I'm about to go over for Stateborad. Mind you, I have it for my state, for Nevada, right? But I have everything that I'm about to read in the description box below. So, like, maybe stay here on your phone, but maybe get your laptop and then read with me, or vice versa, right? But read along. But as I'm saying this, right, the field of cosmetology itself is broken down into so many different compartments. And the thing is, most people get really confused. Do you see this? Is it making your hair hurt? It should. We about to read all of it. Now, the thing is, most people get confused because on social media and on YouTube, nobody has a license. So nobody understands the field of cosmetology and the way that it works. But and I'm just being real, before the thing happened, right? Everybody was able to do their little stuff under the table, but then once the stuff happened, right, where we shut down for a minute, once the C word happened, everybody was forced to find something else to do, find another way to make money. And hair is a way that most people are able to make money, right? It's something that you really can do. It's a very, very low barrier of entry. So many people were doing it. And the thing is, most people, like, cosmetologists have always made a whole lot of money in the hair industry. They've always, like, when I first started, it was an older lady named Barbara. She bought a house and a salon, cash money, and all she's done is hair her whole life. So it's a business to it. But for the most part, like, they didn't have social media. Stuff was low key. But then when social media came along, everybody's like, I can do it too. And you don't need a license. So this is the part that everybody skipped over. Not to mention, even back in the day, a lot of people were doing hair without a license, right? And even like braiders didn't always have the ability to be licensed. So they made a compartment within the field of cosmetology for it. So I'm going to take myself off the screen because as you can see, it's a lot, but I am looking at the chat. So talk to me as we going. As you can see, it's a lot. I tried to talk to give you a chance to open it up on your own because it's in the description box so you can see it, right? But this is how it looks, right? For the State Board of Cosmetology, it is not a game. Okay, so here are most of the general provisions. So I want you to pay attention to all of these different numbers. These are all of the different fields within cosmetology, under cosmetology. This is why I say, as a cosmetologist, I am licensed to do everything, every scenario that you see. But every scenario that you see is not licensed to do that everything that you can do within cosmetology, right? So if you start up from the very beginning, you can see what it is, right? Hair designer, that is different. But let's look at hair braider, right? Defined. So this is a lot. I know, I understand. It is a lot, but we are at the very, very top, right? So let's get into this and let's see what a braider is actually able to do and everything that stands under that. And then you can go from there because braiders are not lazy. They are not licensed to wash your hair. Okay, let's get into it. Go to the very top. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Right here. NRS 644A 0.085. This is the part of our cosmetology handbook and stuff that we look at, right? This is the part that you're looking for. So if you want to type it in and you can't see it and you want to look it up for yourself, there it is. Okay. Hair braiding. Hair braiding means a natural form of hair manipulation by braiding, corn rolling, extending, lacing, locking, sewing, twisting, weaving, or wrapping human hair, natural fibers, synthetic fibers, and hair extensions. Okay? The practice may be performed by hand or by using simple braiding devices, including without limitation clips, combs, hairpins, scissors, needles, and thread. Okay? So, these terms include cleansing the scalp. Listen to me. In a second, you're going to see what I'm talking about when we head over to the relation to cosmetology. When it comes to the field of cosmetology, we do not make up words. Everything is exactly as it seems. Scalp cleansing and hair cleansing are two completely different things. A braider is licensed to go over your scalp and cleanse your scalp, let's say with rose water on a cotton ball, or let's say with witch hazel on a cotton ball. She's licensed to do that, but she is not licensed to cleanse your hair. It's a difference. And again, this is not what I'm making up. This is the State Board of Cosmetology for Nevada. I am not making this up. And we're reading it together. All right. Okay. Where are we at? The terms include cleansing the scalp and B, the making or customization of wigs from natural hair, hair fibers, synthetic fibers, or extensions. That means that as a licensed braider, you can make wigs, you can braid hair, you can do all forms of braids, all forms of extensions is what a braider can do, is what somebody with a braider's license can do. So if they're licensed and if they say they licensed and they do weaves and stuff, that does not mean that they're a cosmetologist. It means that they're a licensed braider. And in a minute, you'll also see that they have none of the provisions or training that cosmetologists do. And then we're going to go over to the training that a cosmetologist has that they're talking about. All right. Okay, this includes the making of customized wigs from natural hair fibers or synthetic hair fibers or hair extensions. The terms do not include. Let's scroll up so we can see. Let's scroll up so we can see. Okay. The terms do not include the use of penetrating chemicals or hair treatments, chemical hair coloring agents, chemical hair straightening agents, chemical hair joining agents, so like a Olaplex, or like, okay, let's keep going. Permanent wave styles or chemical hair bleaching agents applied to growing human hair. I really hope that y'all are seeing this. The cutting or growing of human hair, except that term includes the trimming of hair extensions, the trimming of hair extensions, or sew and weave extensions only as applicable to the braiding process. I really hope that y'all picking this up. Any other activity set forth in definition of cosmetologist pursuit, and then this is where we're going next. All right. Basically saying that anything else that you do that a cosmetologist does other than acting excessively set forth by consequences, and then they add all of the other consequences that you're subject to if you do things that a cosmetologist can do. But this clearly states the things that a braider is able to do. A braider is not licensed to wash your hair. They are not licensed to use any type of uh like tools on your hair, like curling irons and stuff on your natural hair. They are only licensed to do hair extensions. They are not licensed to do hair that is growing out of your natural hair. So braiders that tell you that you have to come with your hair shampooed, conditioned, with a leave-in conditioner in it and blow dry, they are not lazy. They're actually following the law now, because over these last however long they weren't following the law. The law said, if unless you went to cosmetology school or unless you had the beginning portions of design, you are not licensed or able legally to wash or blow dry or use any type of electric tools on hair. That's just what it is. So here is cosmetology and everything that it lists that we're able to do. As y'all can see, this is extremely detailed, right? It's a very like, it's a full of a whole lot of information, and most people don't really know this, right? Most people don't understand this portion. Most people think that cosmetologists or braiders are just lazy and that they just don't want to do hair or that they don't want to wash your hair. But in reality, guys, that's not true. And I'm glad we were able to get through this rather quickly. That's not true. Let me know if you have any questions, but it's not true, guys. If a braider says, braiders are not being lazy because they're saying you have to come with your hair clean, shampooed and conditioned and deep with a leave-in conditioner in it and blown out. They're not able to do it legally. So by asking a braider to do that, you're literally asking them to break the law. I left everything that I just read, and I just left the braiders portion in there because it's so vast, it's so wide, and they actually have in there what I always tell you guys about. Can give me a 5 if everybody can still hear me okay. But something that I really want you guys to understand is there are so many different scenarios and lanes of cosmetology and so many things that you're able to do and aren't able to do. So it's not that cosmetologists and everybody and braiders are lazy. Oh, and the only reason I'm saying it today or now because we may get another video later. Okay, good. Y'all can hear me. Okay, good. Y'all may get another video later on today but I don't know. I just couldn't really like focus on it because I even in the comments I just kept seeing like braiders are lazy, hairstylists are lazy. No, they're not. The majority. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If you are going to a person who is telling you that you have to come with your hair already shampooed, already conditioned, already blown out, it is because they do not have a cosmetology license. And if they do have a cosmetology license, then yeah, that's a lazy ass hair cosmetologist. 100% go to somebody else. I'm just being real. But let's not put everybody under one blanket because and I'm in no way, shape, or form saying like, oh, a braider is whack because they ain't even go to school to they don't want to do hair like that. That's not their desire. Their desire is to braid hair. If your desire is to braid hair and be intricate and parting and all of that, you don't have a passion for the science of hair. You don't have a passion for hair growth. You are passionate about growing hair. Just like if you're a chef, right? If you're a chef, just because you're a chef and you excellent at cooking doesn't mean that you have to be an expert at growing food. You don't have to be a nutritionist just because you're a chef. Those are two completely different lanes. So that's why this is something that I wanted to talk about because I just feel like everybody's like always looking for offense or looking for something to be offended by. And it's like if we could really just stop listening or stop looking, oh, look at her, she didn't do this right, and really just know what what the field of cosmetology is and understand what type of professional you're going after, what type of professional that you're looking for, and what you can expect of them, then you will be good. And I see a lot of braiders using jingles when parting for braids. Is that legally allowed in Nevada? Y'all, this is what I need you to understand. They're able to do hair, they're able to braid and use certain techniques. Look back at what a braider is able to do as it pertains to the follicle and stuff like that. There's no state board regulation on, oh, if you grease the scalp or put that in the scalp, if you put that in the scalp, then that's illegal and you're not supposed to do that. No, the state board of cosmetology expects for other human beings to have common sense. I'm sorry. They expect you to be able to just simply go on Google and look it up for yourself. I'm not being disrespectful, but no, there's no state board regulation on that. And a braider doesn't, I'm not being disrespectful. The reason that braiders are packing the scalp full of gel, I just showed you what they're capable of doing and what their training is. They have had no training whatsoever on the human scalp or the human hair shaft. It's all about tools and synthetic hair. Their licensing is for interlocking hair, for braiding, twisting, looping, weaving, twisting. We just read it together. They're not in the business of making sure that you, and I'm not being disrespectful, but the government is not in the business of making sure that people have common sense or that they follow their common sense. So no, there's no state board regulation like they're greasing the scalp, they're putting this thick butter in the scalp, they're going to jail. No, they looking at y'all do it and they just assume that y'all that's what y'all want to do. Not to mention, anytime somebody comes online and says, "Hey, don't do that. Hey, don't you're not supposed to do that," they're met with, you don't know what you're talking about because we black. So they be like, okay, we don't know what we talking about because they black, so we gonna let them do what they want to do. My mission is just bigger than this, but most people that take the type that if they got the type of pushback that I've gotten from you guys, they would have been like, forget it and not cared about helping people years ago. I've been doing this for over 10 years. My mission is just way bigger than this, right? So that's something that I really want you to think about. Hey, I think I made it to a live, but I'm on lunch. I can always watch it later. Y'all, you sure can watch it later. Hey, Sin, thank you for the information. I get a book and write down your lectures. Yes, that's what you're supposed to do, boo. And that's why I read off the piece of the part of the article that is in, so that way you can go in there and you can see it for yourself. Like, that's why when people be like, sin is dying, it's like, what are you talking about? I'm saying the reason that you have to, the reason braiders are not wrong for saying that y'all need to come with y'all hair shampooed, conditioned, and blown out. They're not wrong for saying it, because in the state of Nevada, it is illegal for a person who only holds a braider's license to shampoo, condition, and blow dry your hair. It is illegal for her to do that. It is also illegal for her to trim your hair. She is only supposed to cut hair extensions. And the only time that they're licensed to cut your hair is if in some way, shape, or form, them cutting your hair is going to like make the extensions better. Maybe like, you know how when you have braids and then they cut away flyaways, they're licensed to do that. It's weird that they're licensed to do that, but not licensed to trim, but that's what it is. So can we stop attacking our sisters like, oh, braiders are dusty, oh, they ratchet, oh, these black women now are lazy? No, they're not. They're not lazy. In COVID, just like everybody went to jail with the PPP loans and stuff like that, during that time, braiders and cosmetologists got the whips cracked on them, all because of social media. They like, oh, y'all making this type of money? Oh man, it's time to pay some taxes on this. Oh, let's get some regulations. So then all of the regulations came, and that's when all of the policies had to change, because they're not trying. If they get caught breaking the law, if somebody, and as much as y'all are on social media trying to expose people, if a braider, let's say you don't like your braids, right? Let's say you don't like your braids, and the braider that you go to shampoos and blow dries people's hair. And let's say you go live on YouTube or on Instagram or on TikTok and you make a video about her and how you don't like your braids, right? And how you just don't like the way they turned out. Your hair didn't fall out or nothing. You just don't like your braids. And then you tag her in it, and then somebody that works for Stateborad, because please believe, everybody's making their job easier. People put everything on social media. If y'all think that the State Board of Cosmetology is going from door to door, you are sadly mistaken. They are not. They're on YouTube. They're on Instagram. It's easy money now. So when you're posting, oh, she messed up my hair, they just gonna check. It's just a simple little type in real quick for them to check to see, like, oh, she don't have no braider's license, or oh, she does have a braider's license, but she shampoos and deep conditions. Guess what? She won't be able to have a braider's license again for at least, I want to say the last time I checked was 7 years. She'll be on hold, able to do hair legally for 7 years, all because y'all want y'all hair washed. So it's like, I'm only making this video. I'm not a braider. I think braiders should be the highest paid people ever, but I'm not a braider. But I do stand with braiders as it pertains to the way that y'all dragging braiders on social media for not shampooing and blow drying y'all hair. They're not able to legally. It is against the law for them to. Is it true that braiding gel is more alkaline? Braiding gel, it shouldn't gel. I'll leave a video link to how I feel about products in another in the description box below. I just don't like having the product discussion. I'm gonna leave the video. I have a full video, full live breaking down polymers, and that's what a gel is, a polymer. So I break down what polymers are, and like scientifically, so that way you know you can answer that question on your own. Like, no, they don't go gels, braiding gel. Braiding gel is just another way to say edge control. It's just another way to say edge control. It's a polymer. It does not go in the scalp. But I just showed y'all what a braider is licensed to do and what their scope of training is. They don't understand that they're doing something wrong. Braiders don't understand that they're causing hair weathering over time. They don't understand that they're slowly killing your follicle by packing it with oils and butters. I mean, and like thick braiding gels and jams. They don't understand. But if you go to a braider that understands, you'll notice she not putting it in the scalp. She braiding it with, she only using it on your hair. There's a difference. Braiding gel is a polymer for the hair. It does not belong on the scalp. But if you're going to a braider or somebody who isn't licensed at all, they don't understand that. That's why it's up to you to understand the science of the human body and understand the laws of your state and of the place that you're in, so you can pick the right professional. But in COVID, everybody, like, do you know how many people was, oh, I'm a tax specialist. Oh, I'm a real estate agent. Nah. Oh, like what? Everybody, like, in when the world shut down, people lost respect for every profession. We got people doing veneers now. After taking a 2-day course, it's people doing veneers. People have no respect for anything. So it's your job to learn your body so you can learn the difference. Even a chef may not have, yes, a bakery mom. Thank you. If they are using products to part, that means that they don't have good parting skills. Listen, let me tell you something. She said it first, so I don't have to say it. And I know I'm going to get kickback for this, but I don't care. Edge control has not been out for a long time, but braids and box braids have been out since before I was born, since before my mama was born, since before my mama's mama was born, and they was getting crispy ass parts with no edge control. The only reason that braiders use edge control is because the edge control is a polymer and it sticks the hair and it keeps it in place. So when they make a straight line with edge control already on the hair, the part is going to stay straight with zero effort. That is the only reason they use it. It has no other purpose, for no other purpose whatsoever. And so I agree 10,000% that it's laziness and it's a skill level that hasn't been cultivated, because there are bomb ass braiders out here that don't use edge control and their parts are still crispy as hell. Like, I used to get my hair braided all the time, and my parts were always crispy, and edge control wasn't even out when I was little. That's what you use pomade for. You would use pomade for the hair, not the scalp. That it was only used to, like, hold the braids intact and to make sure that the cuticle is protected while the braids are in, but never for the scalp, baby. That's not a thing. Thanks for answering. I figured because it was not in the law at all, I wouldn't trust a braider using heavy products on the scalp, but they don't know. They don't know. They haven't been to school. I love how you always bring it back to the consumer's perspective. Yeah, because for me, everything is accountability. Everything is accountability. And I know that maybe my bluntness may bother people, but I even use accountability to get over the death of my father. Like, my father literally dropped dead. And you want to be like, oh, God this, God that, or God this, or God didn't heal. It didn't have anything to do with anything. My father killed himself. Not physically, like with, but my father limped for about 7 years. He had a limp, and he would be in pain walking. And regardless of what my mom said or what anybody said, he never changed his eating habits. He still ate the same way that everybody eat in the South. That's how my dad eat: pig feet, hog maws, everything. That was his thing, and he wouldn't let it go. And if my mom tried to switch it up, he would buck against it. He didn't start changing his eating habits or start trying to change anything about himself until he went to the bathroom and started urinating blood. Then he was like, oh shit, I gotta fix it. Let me go to the doctors. But then when he went, they was like, it's too late. There's nothing we could do. So when I say when I am asking you to be accountable, I'm asking you to be accountable because I do it myself. I'm accountable with myself with having HS. I know if I get a bald spot, if I get an outbreak, anything, it's my fault. I ate something that didn't agree with my body and I knew better. So this is the result. And because I'm the one who did it, it's time to fix it. It's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's mine. And it is only through me having accountability that I can look at my habits and my patterns and change the direction. That's like with anything, like with an athlete, with an artist. If it ain't hitting, if it's not working, you gotta sit down, go to the drawing board, have some accountability. What did I do wrong? Oh, and it is only within that moment of accountability where you sitting down and you looking, what have been my steps? What have been my patterns? What diet have I been following? What things have I been doing that led me here to this place? Nobody does that. Everybody sits down and looks for somebody to blame. Just like now, Olaplex is going through some shit that's affected even the ambassadors, which I signed an NDA, so I can't get into that. But it's all because instead of women having accountability, everybody's blaming Olaplex for their hair falling out. Now the hair weathering is setting in instead of having the accountability to say, all right, for the last 10 years, this is how I've been treating my hair. And that's something I really want everybody to think about. I think a prerequisite for braiding should also be to study the scalp and human hair shaft. The science is winning. Olaplex is proving that. But but that's not what she's in school for. A braider is not a braider's job, and I'm not being disrespectful. I really want us to all live in reality. That's like saying, oh, a nurse needs to, if a nurse is going to take care of me properly, she needs to study how to be a brain surgeon. She needs to properly study the human brain and nerves and nerve endings. No, she doesn't. She's an RN. No, she doesn't. That's not her job. She does not have to study the human scalp. That's not her job. Guess what? It's not even a cosmetologist's job to know all scalp disorders. That's a trichologist's job. A trichologist is trained on scalp disorders and hair shaft disorders, not a cosmetologist. It's levels to it. And that's why I always put it back on us at having accountability. No, a braider does not have that form of accountability. A braider should not be held accountable to learn the human scalp. What a braider needs to be held accountable for is staying in her lane. That's what a braider needs to do. Because as a braider, you know that you've had no training whatsoever on the human scalp. You should stay clear of it. You shouldn't put nothing on it. Because you know what your license is, you shouldn't step out of your lane. That's what a braider needs to do, but a braider doesn't need further training on the human scalp because that's not her lane. That's not his lane. His lane is the human hair shaft and adding artificial hair to the hair shaft. That's their only job. So, and I know that's kind of hard for some, but it's not. No, like if they want to, if a braider wants to study the human scalp, then a braider can be a braider and a trichologist if that's what she desires, if that's what he desires. So if a braider wants to study the human scalp, the braider has to then go be a trichologist. To be a braider, you're not even in school for a full 24 hours. It's like getting a health card. Because nobody teaches braiders how to braid. Braiders just code. A braider is just going to get her license so she can do it legally, so she can claim it on her taxes. But all a braider is supposed to be doing is braiding hair legally. That's all she can do. So when a braider says, and I'm not making this video to say, oh, braiders are lazy. I don't know. Whatever they want to do with what they know, what they licensed to do and what they not licensed to do, and so do you, because you can see it. The only thing that they're able to do to your scalp is cleanse it. And when you keep looking, I have all of the links in the description box. When you keep looking through that, right, they let you know what their version of cleansing is. And the State Board of Cosmetology is very specific about the scalp and the hair. There is a difference. They are always very specific. The scalp and the hair shaft are not used interchangeably within the field of cosmetology. They are not. Thank you for telling us how chemicals can affect the health of the hair. Understanding the rules that guide braiders with the state board supervisor is important. Yeah, it's like y'all. And of course, this is for the state of Nevada. I'm not in y'all state, so I can't look everywhere, all at one time. But check for y'all state. And most places, that's how it is. A braider's license and a cosmetology license are not the same thing. A cosmetologist, I was in school for 2 years. A braider, they one of my friends is a braider. She was in, it was like getting a health card. She was there for like 5 or 6 hours. They had to watch videos and stuff, take tests. After they watch the video, watch another video, take a test after that, and then depending on how high they scored, they got their license. And if they didn't, they had to come again. And it had nothing to do with the hair shaft. It was all about sanitation. It has nothing. A braider does not learn how to braid when she go get a braider's license. She does not learn the proper way to comb and brush when she get a braider's license. It's about health and regulation. They go over certain things like the things that we just talked about that I let y'all see. Give me a 6 in the chat if y'all want me to go, if y'all want to go over it again. If you coming in late, but I only let cosmetologists touch my head. And I mean, girl, that's your thug thistle, boo. But I just want to be clear and say that I'm not on here shitting on braiders. Braiders, I am on your side. I'm on your side. I'm saying get off her back. That ain't her job. Her job is not to wash your hair. You supposed to do that shit at home because her state says that she can't. The state that she's in is regulating, saying that with her braider's license, she is only able to style your hair, braid it, twist it, mold it, smack it, rub it down, but she can't turn no round brush round and round. And she can't wash your hair. You have to wash your hair yourself. In Georgia, braiders wash hair and treat hair hair. Well, just because they do it, baby, don't mean that it's legal. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. I'm sure that they do it in Georgia. And in other places, they do. Get y'all to understand is the people who have decided not to do it are just following the law, is what I'm saying. So I know they do it in the D. They do it here. They do it everywhere. They shampoo and condition everywhere. You know why? If they don't, y'all gonna talk crap about them and drag them online. So yeah, everybody does it. But if all she has is a braider's license and she has on there that she don't shampoo your hair and you got to come with clean dry hair, that should not be a reason for you not to go to her if all she's doing is braiding your hair. If she's just a braider, or if she's only doing hair extensions, if she's only doing a sew-in, if she's only doing a weave with a closure, she does not have to shampoo and blow dry your hair because legally she will lose her license if she does, is what I'm trying to say. I know that they do it everywhere, but they're not there. If all they have is a braider's license, they're not supposed to, depending on the state. Certain states are different. I just said that. I love going to my African braiders in my hair. They have never used any unnecessary products. And they clean the hair. Okay, y'all. Yeah, so y'all good. I'm glad y'all. If y'all going to somebody who only has a braider's license and they're shampooing hair, unless they're state says that they can, they're not supposed to. So so that's good. I'm happy for y'all. If y'all got braiders that shampoo and blow dry y'all hair, good for y'all. But what I'm saying is the braiders that say you have to come with your hair washed and blow dried are not wrong, is what I'm saying. Is what I'm saying. Okay. It's a live, boo. I'm in here live, girl. This ain't no preview. I'm in here live, girl. We about to get off in a minute though because I'm editing a video and the one that's coming later is gonna be a preview. But I do need y'all to vote on a time for the video before we go. I just want to get through y'all comments. My thing is, if you tender-headed, do your hair yourself. And I know people got a problem with that. So why are the prices so high? Well, let me say this. The reason that and don't get offended by me saying this, the reason that I don't do, okay, wait, before I say this, what is too high? What price is too high before I say anything? What price is too high? What is the price that they charging that's too high? And I'm not going to nobody else comment until you answer, boo. So I'm gonna just leave it right here. Cause I don't want to go talking and then what price is too high is what I want to know. I just want to know. And even if she don't answer, somebody, if you agree with her, what price is too high? Somebody, please. I'm not gonna be an asshole. I promise. I'm in such a good mood. That's why I went live because I don't want to rush through. I felt like I was gonna rush through that edit to get it out tonight, and I don't want to do that. So I was like, I'm gonna go live today, and then that'll. You don't think she's here anymore? Okay. This is the thing. The reason that I don't braid hair is because the people say this. It is insanity to me that women will go and spend $600, right? You'll spend $400 or $500 on weave, right? On the bundles, just the bundles themselves, right? Spend $400 or $500 on bundles, $200-300 on bundles. But then if a braider charges you $200 to put 150 braids in your head, standing up for 5 hours, like it's like, oh, that's too much, and that's crazy. Cause okay, let me see. Hold on. Cause I haven't been in corporate for a minute, so hold on. I just need my. Okay, so if you, before I let me see if she before I keep talking. Because if you're not in here, I'm gonna just skip over this because chill out again. Yeah, like it's insanity to me that women don't have a problem. Women would have no problem paying me $280 for a full sew-in with a lace closure. But if a braider say, "Oh, I charge $250 to put 150 braids in your head by myself," y'all like, oh my God, that is ridiculous. It's like, y'all, just because other people weren't charging their worth doesn't mean that when somebody starts to charge their worth that the price is ridiculous. Because if you think that her prices are too much, go do it yourself. The reason that I don't offer braids and individuals and stuff is because it is mind-boggling to me that people think that the price that they're charging is too much. Like they're gonna stand there and put hundreds of braids in your head. You're not gonna have to touch your hair for 2-3 months. And she can't do nobody else hair while she's here. So what is she supposed to charge you? Like, what is she supposed to charge? $50? So how is she supposed to live if she's braiding hair to pay her bills and she spends 8 hours making $50, $60? How does she live? How does she live? How does she breathe? How what? It's crazy to me. Like I don't I just don't what's the problem? You see $1,500 braids. Now I do think that's a little well, I'm not gonna say it's ridiculous because I'm never gonna say that somebody's price is ridiculous because who the hell am I to tell you what you're worth? If your worth is at 1,500 because you know that what I'm gonna put down is worth 1,500, then who the hell am I to tell you to humble yourself? No, you not. Sit down. You ain't worthy of that. Like what? Who am I to say that? But at the same time, you just have to determine if whether or not the person that you're going to, if whether or not what they're providing is going to be worth it for you. But I don't, that's literally, that question is why I don't do it. And that question is also why I'm not coming back to the hair industry because people will for sure think that my prices are ridiculous 100%. 100%. Because, yeah, let's move on. Consumer accountability means taking responsibility for you allow others to do to you, or yes, yep, and it also has to do with the state in which you allows your hair to get in. For example, if you've been doing wash and goes and team natural stuff for years and ain't been blow drying and flat ironing your hair or nothing, don't you go into no cosmetologist and get a flat iron that same day without checking to see what your hair shaft is looking like before you put heat on it and then blame her for your heat damage? Because most likely you can have a hair shaft disorder. Braiding is hard on hands. Like, do you know I have so many braider friends that have carpal tunnel right now. They have to take time off of work because they have to go get surgery for carpal tunnel. So yeah, they're gonna charge. Like it's not gonna be cheap. Like learn to pause and reflect. Yep. What's the T with Olaplex? I signed an NDA. I can't say nothing, nothing. Just know, all I'm gonna say is this: I truly wish that Olaplex never made stuff open to the public. That's all I'm gonna say. And I know that's gonna be offensive to y'all, but I feel like I wish Olaplex would have stayed being a professional only product because by making it accessible to YouTubers that don't follow directions, that make up stuff and have been, it's just muddied the water. And that's all I can say. We need to take ownership of having greater accountability for what we allow others to do to us. Long-term braiding is drying to the hair shaft. Yes, it is. That's why hair extensions aren't damaging unless you do them wrong and unless you leave them in too long. Everything has a limit. Everything has a limit. We might need to get a separate service for hair washing before we go to a braider. Or you could just wash your hair yourself. I'm not being disrespectful. Unless you have some type of physical ailment that prohibits you from being able to wash and blow dry your own hair, why the hell can't we? I'm not talking to you, but why can't we wash our hair ourselves? I'm so confused. Like, I don't understand. Unless you have some type of physical ailment that prohibits you from doing your own hair, What is stopping Black women from washing their own hair? And the reason that it's frustrating for me is because my entire career I've worked around women who were not my complexion, and they wash their hair every day. So the fact that my people are it was always been embarrassing for me. It don't got nothing to do with YouTubers or nothing, but I've always like one of the token Black girls in the building. Always it'd be like me and one other Black girl, or me and a girl who got this much black in the she won't pass the brown pepper bag test. Like it'll be like that. And every time I'm constantly like, why are we this way? They're washing their hair multiple times in a day or every day, but we're like, oh my God, like we we have to wash our hair before we come. It's like, what is happening? Why what I don't understand. I don't understand. Why do we need a separate service to wash your hair? Why do you need to spend your hard-earned money to wash your hair when you can just get in the shower and do it yourself? I don't I'm so confused. It is so confusing. Cosmetologists and braiders are beginning to get the well deserved respect as professionals. This is extremely helpful information. Thank you. No problem. And again, if you're late, I'll go over it again before we go, right? Give me a 5 if you want me to go over it again because you just came back. I mean, because you just came in. But then I will just give me a 5, and at the end I'll see the 5s, and that'll let me know that I need to just go over it one more time before we go. But y'all, like, when y'all come across videos like she didn't want to braid my hair, stop being rage baited. I like to call it rage baited because they make up, look at what happened to me. Be mad. Be enraged with me. Stop. No. Their hairstylists, braiders are not lazy if they're telling you to come with clean hair. In their state, there's a possibility that it is illegal for them to do it. And in most states, if all you have is a braider's license, that's all you're able to do. And yes, you can do weaves and hair extensions with a braider's license. Yes, because that's considered a form of braiding, interlocking, intertwining. No problem, bro. Braiding is hard work. I braid my mother's hair usually takes 6 to 7 hours. It takes a toll on your legs and your hands, just one head. Like, what? And the fact that people feel like they can put a price on some, like, and I know people gonna get offended by what I gotta say next. I don't know how else to say it. So if you easily offended, you shouldn't be here. But it's like, how can one put a price on something that they don't have the ability to do? If you don't have the capability to do, you shouldn't comment on what value you think it should hold if you don't even have the ability to do it. And that just depends on what type of braider you going to. There are prices that I do feel like are ridiculous. I'm not gonna say which ones are. I'm not gonna say what prices I feel like are fucking ridiculous that I would for damn sure never pay. I'm not gonna say what prices I think are ridiculous. Who am I to say what prices I think are fucking ridiculous? Like, but because this is the price that I would charge if I braided hair. So I can't say anything. And this is why I would never do it because people are, what? And I get enough strife just telling people to wash their hair the same way they wash their ass. So, girl, to be standing on your feet for hours braiding, that's a lot of work. Yes. And most of the people who complain about the price could never do it. Yeah. Yeah. My red braids were 320. I would say that's a lot of work. Non-stop. Like, oh my God. Like, think about my weaves, a sew-in with a lace closure take me 2 hours. 2 hours. And I'm gonna make 360 off that. 360 off 2 hours of work. But she gonna stand up for 8 hours? You paying my rent for the month. You paying my rent for the month. You gonna pay my rent and my phone bill. It's because braiders used to charge so little a long time ago. And this is the thing, and I'm not being disrespectful, but as a cosmetologist, I could be transparent and say that when life's, because life's for everybody. Just because you're a cosmetologist don't mean that life don't be life. And so when stuff got hard, and I remember my husband had got laid off from his job for some bullshit. He didn't even do nothing wrong. It was some bullshit, and we needed to double down. And my books wasn't full. You know what I did? I sent out a message to everybody in my phone and was like, $80 sew-ins. Is that because I thought that my sew-ins was only worth $80? No, it was because we had a baby and bills to pay. And I needed to figure out what we were going to do. Was I happy that I had to sit in there and do that amount of work for $80? No. But when I lowered my price and when I lowered my work, people came. That's what it is. So now what's happening is cosmetologists are like, regardless of whether or not I lose people or not, I cannot keep working for less than what I'm worth just so I can be more pliable to people. Or just so I could be more accessible to people. I am killing myself. Like that's what's happening. It's not, oh, they getting cocky. No, we were never charging our worth before. Me and my husband, I remember we got into an argument because before, for the longest time, my silk presses was only like $55. And then I had got to a point where I was booked up for 2 months in advance. And my husband is like, what are you doing? Why are you still charging $55 when that's the price that you had when you first started? So then I raised my price. As I got different degrees, as I got different certifications, I did that for me. Y'all will never know what degrees I have because I did it for me, not to brag and boast for other people. But the more I educated myself and the more I had to bear, the more I had to present, the higher my prices went. But $80 has never been what you're supposed to be charged. $50 if you're going to a braider, and I'm not being disrespectful, this is coming from love. I've been there too. If somebody only charging you $50 to put your braids in, it's because she needed to make money by any means necessary. Like, we out here grinding and hustling the same way you are. But you an accountant. That's how you make your money. I did hair. That's how I made my money. When times got hard, when times get hard for you, you may be like, oh my God, mom, can you help me? Or you gonna have a side hustle or whatever. When times got hard for me, I lowered my standards. And I accepted less than what I was worth. So I wouldn't go without. That's what it is. And that's the same thing that they were doing. Point blank, period. You have to start looking at other women as your sisters and not as your enemy. We are not enemies. We are not competition. That's why the one person that keeps making the videos about me, I'm not giving direct attention because I'm a woman and I'm talking to other women, woman to woman. I'm not here to disrespect you. If I say that, oh, I don't like washing clothes and it's dumb and it's stupid, I'm not saying it to disrespect you. I'm not saying it to make you feel like you ugly or you dumb. I'm saying it because I love you and I know that you don't understand that you think that you helping yourself, but long term, you're causing massive hair weathering and massive follicle disorders. And if you want to let somebody who don't even share our same chromosomes turn you against me, then that's up to you. But I'm telling you what my intentions are and what I'm here for. Point blank, period. My sister was the hood braider and she changed Yeah, she charged $1 a braid. Her sister was the hood hairstylist and she charged $1 a braid. Y'all have to take like the hood mentality out of the professional mentality. Y'all can't think that professional cosmetologists are gonna move, or professional braiders. Let's not even talk about professional cosmetologists, because I need y'all to understand that I don't have no makeup on today. So, but I need y'all to understand that it's not just like, oh, cosmetologists against braiders. No, I got respect for everybody. We all a family. What you mean? We all family. What are you talking about? But the thing is, we all need to really, really understand that the prices that you got from your hood hairstylist are not going to be the same prices from your professional cosmetologist. And peep game, as a professional cosmetologist, let me tell you that I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I've been doing hair in the kitchen, getting in trouble, having hair in my mama food and stuff, getting yelled at since I was like 10. My mama wasn't buying me Barbies. My mama was buying me mannequins. On God, I'll go get my mama right now. But when I got my cosmetology license, baby, those little $25 updos, that went out the window. Your hood prices are not your professional prices. They are not. Baby, my hood prices went up. My When I was doing ponytails and little top knots and stuff, when I was in my mama kitchen, yeah, my styles was $25. And if you came with like one of your friends, both of y'all could get a ponytail for $15. What you talking about? I didn't have no bills. I didn't have no rent. I didn't have no kids. I didn't have no phone bill, no light bill, no gas. I was playing. That was my play money. But when I got my cosmetology license and I got student loans to pay back, I'm a real life professional. You looking somebody up in this by their license number. You could look me up by my license number. I'm certified. And I'm certified. Like, what are we talking about? So you can't, everybody's like, oh, it's so expensive. It's not expensive. You're comparing hood prices to professional prices, and it's a difference. You go to a hood salon, yeah, baby, you may be able to get a bunch of shit done for under $45. But if you go to a professional cosmetologist, it's not going to be the same thing. The same way that if y'all go get a BBL with a real doctor, it look one way versus going overseas, it's looking a whole nother way. Or the new thing is veneers. The way that your veneer is gonna be popping if you go to the right doctor, right? If you go to the right doctor versus y'all going to veneer techs. They took a 2-day course and y'all teeth popping out in a couple of days because they putting your teeth on with nail acrylic. That's on you. It's not their fault. It's your fault that you went to a a a, a veneer tech. That's your fault. That's your fault that you went into somebody who gonna charge you $25 a tooth. That's your fault. You did that. Nobody else. $10 a tooth. That's your fault. Nobody played you. You did that. Accountability. That's what I'm talking about. We need to know the laws. There is no such thing as a veneer tech unless you've been to school for a minimum. How long do a dentist go to school? About 8 years. If you ain't been to dental school, you ain't coming nowhere near my mouth, my baby. Y'all need to take accountability, because that's going to be the next thing. They scammed us. Nobody scammed you. You stupidly went to a veneer tech and let them file on your teeth. These are the things we have to have accountability. Like, there's nothing else to talk about. Girl, that could never. If we could, we would. And the fact that you can't defend yourself in that way, because they cannot, is the reason that I won't be releasing a hair product until the laws change. Because the laws don't protect the brand. So everything's still good with Olaplex though, but we're gonna go live. I'm gonna go live on Amazon with Olaplex because Olaplex is official. The Olaplex store on Amazon is official, so we'll be going live with that. Okay, y'all, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna go back into it again. I never known braiders to wash hair unless they're cosmetologists. Exactly, because you're not supposed to. By law, you're not supposed to. I agree. Shampoo, deep condition, and blow dry before you go. No big deal. That's what I'm like. What is the big deal? Like, it's the equivalent to like women and don't get. I mean, I don't care if you get mad. Get mad. Go wash your ass. Like, that's just like the women who go. I had friends that were estheticians, right? Because I worked in studio salons. So one of my next door neighbors was an esthetician, like 2 doors down from me. And she used to be so irritated because women would come for full Brazilian waxes right after the gym. Ain't touch no water. Or they would just not have washed their ass in God knows how long and come for a full Brazilian wax. Bent over on the table, got her whole room smelling like open booty cheeks. No accountability. Y'all be funky as hell. The problem we might have to respect the hair care profession. Yeah. 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 Take off to now. That's what I mean. Like, get in the routine of washing your hair yourself. And I think that's the part that annoys me, right? You go on YouTube and they be like, don't go to cosmetologists. You don't need them. You can do your hair yourself. You can do your own shampoo. Why do y'all think that cosmetologists don't want y'all to wash y'all hair yourself? Why do y'all think that? Do y'all really truly believe that in our mind we like, no one will ever touch their hair but me? I'm the only one that will ever shampoo or blow dry or condition. I want my clients to be in the habit of washing and blow drying their own hair. You know why? Because when they have proper routines and patterns, I'm not playing catch up for every appointment. We have progress. Your dentist don't want the only time your teeth to be brushed or clean is when you go to the dentist. So why do you think your cosmetologist only wants your hair combed when she do it? You should have regular routines and a regular pattern of washing your hair and blow drying it yourself or roller setting it yourself or flexi riding it yourself. You should be self-sufficient. You should. But the right way, with the right science. Hold on, I got something in my nose, guys. Hold on, guys. And nobody was going to say anything. You can't see it now. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm back. Wait a minute, guys. Yes. Don't say, hold on, mama. I'm getting the booger out of your nose. I'm not saying that. No. That's too much information. There, no. Here it is. I got that little sucker. All right. All right, guys. We're back, guys. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We had a visitor. We had a visitor. We had a
Okay, we have a hokey pokey. We had a little, we had a little hokey pokey. We had a little hokey pokey, little visitor. We had a little hokey pokey. Like 5 minutes, and who doesn't like? That's what I'm saying. Just take a shower for about an hour, baby girl. I'm not paying no damn attention. I'm not paying no damn 1500 for a 4 week stay on the foot. That's what I'm saying. But I don't want to. I don't want to say nothing about nobody this layer. So cute. You know, well, you gotta come over here in the camera to get a kiss. She's so cute. Did you see her? Did you see her? Can you close the bathroom door? Baby, no, the bathroom. Did you see her? She's so cute. She's so cute. My uterus got cut open for that. I got a scar to prove it. She's so cute. Oh, yeah. How they say it? I don't remember. What did I say? I say it again. 320 is a damn good price if it's a licensed cosmetologist. Hell yeah, it is. 'Cause I ain't. Let me remember. Yeah, man. Watch out. Braiders deserve all the respect in the world. They deserve every dime they whatever they say is what it is. That's why I don't even want to say nothing about them charging 1500 because I'm gonna be like 50,000. $50,000. And I ain't even finishing the braids in one day. It's gonna take us about a week. I'm gonna do a couple of rolls a day. I do the perimeter first, put that shit up in the ponytail, go home. Infatuated, baby. Inflation, baby, everything high. That's what I'm saying. And that's the thing. If inflation is here and everything high, why you think that a braider or a hairstyle is not gonna raise their prices too? Oh, you do hair? Oh, inflation don't get her out 17, out 17, out 17. Actually, she is a braider. So there's no extra price for her. Everything's no inflation. She doesn't, it don't go up. Same price for her. She's a braider. It don't work like that. Like, it don't work like that, girl. It don't work like that. I braid my own hair, but the way my arms get tired, I pay $500 exactly. And the thing is, her arms are just as tired as yours are, and she's standing up. She can't watch TV, and you know how you be braiding your own hair, so you be having Cheetos and stuff, and she can't do none of that. She gotta. And then people be having a nerve to be like, "Oh my God, it take forever. Oh, she take forever. How much longer, girl? Girl, I paid 200 for my silk press with no problem, girl. Talk to her nice, girl. Talk to her nice, girl. I don't want it if it's 50. That's scary. You will be surprised. Self care is something that we recognize is important, but we are unwilling to recognize how much it costs to be well. Listen. I think the problem, a lot of people ain't gonna like what I have to say, but because it's a service that a black woman is getting done by another black woman, we should be supporting each other. Power to the people. You know it's hard out here for a pimp when you're trying to get the money for the rent with the Cadillac and gas money spent. You know they jumping ship. Why don't you give me your full throw in for $85? Like, saying We're taking our mindset out of enemy mode into peace mode. That's what I'm saying. We are not enemies. Like, we're not. We're not. That's why when people were like, send out versus these nuts, like, send out ain't verse nobody. Nobody. Nobody, buddy. Nobody, buddy. Nobody. I'm just here to remind you of who you are and how powerful you are, and that you don't need all of these outside things. Within the 7 day challenge, everybody there knows that everything that they need is inside. They like, holy shit, I cannot believe I've been covering my hair with these oils and butters. I can't believe I've been greasing my scalp and putting all of these moisturizers in my hair. Once I stopped, my hair is so oily that I need to wash my hair multiple times a week now. They're trying to figure out how to slow down sebum production while the majority of y'all that pack y'all scalps full of oil and butter couldn't get a drop of oil to come out of y'all head if y'all gave them $50 million. Hmm? The oil stuck behind your follicle, behind the wash and dry. Hmm? We're not enemies, bro. We're not. What are we doing? What are we doing? And this is the thing. And I'm gonna say this one time and one time only. And whoever want to take it can take it and then put it in a blender and add some milk and add some chips. I don't know. But what I'm not gonna do ever is be a woman arguing with anybody. I'm just not doing it. I'm not arguing with nobody about nothing. The truth doesn't need to be explained. You can search it for yourself. I'm not arguing with nobody about nothing. So if you are watching somebody who has an argumentative energy or who's trying to make you look at her and look at how I'm just a passionate person and I don't bite my tongue. And the problem is the majority of this planet bites their tongue. The majority of the world, it lies and pussyfoots around. The majority of the world doesn't know what real love looks like. And when me and my husband was talking about it, and one really good example that I use, everybody didn't have a father. And I feel like not having a father really f's up a lot of things, because when you don't have a father, you don't understand what love is. And let me explain. When you don't have a father, you don't understand that this isn't love. Love isn't, hey, baby. Oh, I know. I know that you didn't want to do that, but that's not smart. What you should do, that's not love. Love is, I'm going to tell you you look stupid before they do. I'm going to make sure that you are 100% equipped and you know the ins and outs of everything that could be coming your way. So that way, when you see it, you'll be able to spot it and nothing will be able to sneak up on you, because you'll know and you'll have accountability and you'll be able to face things. When me and my husband first got married and we would be having arguments and stuff, I'm a daddy's girl. So I was like, I'm gonna call my daddy. And I thought that my dad was gonna be on my side. He came over, he was like, Latrice, sit down. What is wrong with you? No, that boy don't gotta do blah 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 blah. And you better watch how you talking to him, or you're gonna be by yourself and XYZ. That's love. Love is accountability. Love is not this, oh, you're right and they're wrong for making you feel that way. No, love is loving you in spite of your feelings, in spite of how you'll feel about me, in spite of the way you'll look at me. I'm still gonna say the things that I need to say to you, so that when you're in these situations and it pops up, whether you like me or not, you're still hear my voice in the back of your head and be like, this is what she was talking about. And even if you don't listen and you still go do it, and then you get that result, you're gonna be like, oh, this is what she was talking about. Take it or leave it. It is what it is. I'm not here for that. I'm not. So if you want to argue, like I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. Back in 2000, I used to charge $100. Everything is more expensive now. And that was in the kitchen. But this is the thing. Let's talk numbers real quick. Somebody get a calculator out for me. Let's talk numbers. So if you braiding hair in, let's say, solar salons, the smallest suite at solar salons is $280 a week. So 280 times 4 is $1,120. Okay, that's how much booth rent she has to pay every month to be in that room. So whatever money she makes that month, she has to take all whatever money she make that week. She has to take and pay booth rent with. So let's get into something real quick. So if let's say $100, right? So if it's 7 days in a week, right? And it take her about 8 hours to braid, and most people's work day is 8 hours, right? And she's charging $100, right? That means that, excuse me, that means that she's only making $100. And then most hairstylists don't work 7 days a week. Most hairstylists only work 5 days a week. So that means that she made $500 that week, and then take away from that 500 the $280 that she has to pay for booth rent, right? Okay, so 500 minus 280, right, is 220. Okay, so 220 times, excuse me, Lord. So 220 times 4. So that takes it to $800 a month. That's all she would be making is $800 a month, but in profit. But she gotta pay $1,100 in booth rent. Not to mention, she not just working to pay booth rent. That means that after she paid booth rent for the week, she only got $200. She got $200 to feed her kids. She got $200 for gas money. She got $200 for her phone bill. For her, like, do you understand? But if you going to somebody that's braiding in the house, she can charge you $100. You know why? All she gotta do is pay her rent. Because I need you to keep in mind that the woman that gotta pay the $1,100, almost $1,200 booth rent also has to pay rent too that month. So yes, if they're gonna stand up for 8 hours doing your hair, it has to make sense. The amount of money has to make sense. Otherwise, they're gonna be in a hole just so you can have some cute braids in your head. Please give me a tool if that makes sense. We are not enemies. Like, you need to be looking at your like really looking at your sister and sympathizing, like, damn, she is really standing here doing my hair for 8 hours. She can, after you stand and do hair for 8 hours, if all you do is braid hair, do you have another 8 hours in you to stand and do more braids? No, you don't. So you gonna charge at least $300 to stand there for 8 hours, because that's the only way that you'll be able to freaking live. Oh my God, like, and it's so sad that we don't have any empathy for each other, but we expect everybody to have empathy for us. It's freaking crazy, bro. Like, that's why I'm making this video. I am on braiders. Like, I'm not that girl. So if I ever make videos, when I say, oh, I don't like Team Natural, I'm talking about certain practices. I'm not talking about braids and stuff. I feel like braiders should be the highest paid in the hair industry, and I don't care what anybody says. And of course, I think that goes back to what somebody else said. Like, of course, they would have to change the regulations where, because braiders do deal with the scalp, they should have some form of training, but they don't give them any training like that. And that's not their fault that that's the way that they regulated it. So they don't give them training on the scalp and the hair shaft. I think they should change the way that braiders are educated when they go get their braiders license, like maybe include the trichology program with with the braiders program because that makes sense. Like a braider should be a trichologist. A braider should understand scalp disorders and hair shaft disorders. Why not? It makes sense. They're linked hand in hand. But it's not set up that way. So play money versus life money. Man, what? $40 ponytails. Yes. So sad. Lack of accountability costs lives in some cases. Yes, ma'am. That veneer stuff is crazy. But the thing is, the reason that the veneers took off and that everybody is doing the veneers is because y'all lost respect. I don't care what nobody says. When the team natural community took off and YouTube and everybody was like, you don't need a license to do this. I can do this. And Team Natural and influencers, they inspired everybody. Like, you can learn this online and not just hair, like everything. You can learn so many things online, but because people learn the vanity metric online, it made everybody think that you don't need school for nothing and that like you shouldn't be respected if you have a license. And now that's where we are today. Because you give somebody an itch, they go a mile. All it took was for y'all to open up the door and say, oh, a license don't matter. And the thing is, once again, accountability. We are not going to blame these people that are getting these veneer certifications. I am blaming the people who are paying money to get veneers by people who are, I'm blaming you. If you paid fucking $60, you paid $300 for a full set of veneers, and you popping them out, and they popping out while you eating gum. That's what you get. Cause that was stupid, Shalissa. That was stupid, Shalissa. In high school, I had everybody coming home with me. Listen, to get their hair done, it was fun, and I charged them pennies. I lost a lot of so-called friends. Word for word verbatim. Word for word verbatim. Like word for word verbatim, down to when I first got in cosmetology school, or when I first moved to Vegas. I was younger, I was a kid, so I identified as Christian then, do not anymore, but I was at church and stuff with my parents, so I was doing it for the low. I basically wasn't even charging nobody. It was like exchange stuff, or we was church friends and stuff. But then when I got my license, the majority of the people that I was friends with then, I am not friends with now, because they were in their feelings that they had to pay me. It's always been a thing. I don't know what you're saying. Congratulations for a bed. Thank you. Olaplex been up for so long, and I've never had issues. I know, me either. I just use Olaplex for C, and I love it. Best clarifying shampoo I have ever used. Ditto. I feel the same way. Where is my? Oh, here it is. And if y'all, I just had to block somebody, but I'm trying to move a little slower today because I'm trying to be more. I'm trying to be more conscious about what I'm saying. Because it's been so many signs that have been right in front of us since we were children that we didn't even know. How many of you, give me a one if you know what abracadabra means. Don't say, if you know what it means, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it, and don't put it in the chat. But if you know what abracadabra means, put it in the chat. I mean, give me a one in the chat. Don't put it in the chat. Give me a one if you know what abracadabra means. Put it in the chat. Speaking of washing hair ourselves, my most recent wash was super easy and quick. Even, yes. 30 minutes. 30 minutes, baby. Let me see. Oh, I got a lot of people to get to. Hold on, I'm gonna get fast. I'm gonna get there. So yeah, you do. Okay, so bad. Oh, I love y'all. I'm in here with my people, right? So I'm trying to be a lot more conscious of what I say before I speak, right? Because abracadabra means I create with my words. I mean, I create as I speak. That's what abracadabra means. Abracadabra means I create as I speak. I'm looking down at my notes. So, and the thing is, the things that we were supposed to know and the things that give us direction, we've always known as kids, but I'm not gonna get too deep on y'all today because that's not what we're talking about, and I don't know what people are ready for. But that's why I'm trying to be more cautious with what comes out of my mouth. Because abracadabra. I didn't see anything in your nose. Oh, I'm far back, girl. It was something in there. It looked like a piece of chicken. Oh, did you guys see my baby? I was in that shop from 10 to 5. She said, girl, you got all this hair. I didn't think we would be here all day. hmm $85 sew-in was like 2011. But girl, people still think that that's what you're supposed to charge. Yep. And that's what I mean. Like, but that's how you know the difference of like what type of professional you go to. Because my silk presses, I didn't charge based on length. My price was for everybody. Whether it was short, long, medium, weak, or strong, it was the same for everybody. Did you discuss what to do when your hair is in braids? Would a spray shampoo and leave-in conditioner? No, leave your hair alone. When you feel like you need to wash it, it's trying to take them out. All you need to do is cleanse the scalp with like a rose water or witch hazel. No oils, my silk press gets waves down. Yep. Listen, no oils, my silk press way down now is wash week, no products. I came in on the mutilated chromosome thing on the screen. Yep. I don't use products on my hair at minimum heat. I only have to wash my hair only every month. Okay, so Tiffany, you think that now, right? The majority of my clients are between the ages of like 45 and like 70. And you only washing your hair once a month is going to eventually lead to follicle death. Because as you speak right now, as we speak, you have anywhere between 20 and 1,000 different forms of yeast and bacteria on your scalp. And over half of those forms of yeast and bacteria are colonizing. So over time, over years, as you allow them to colonize throughout the month on your scalp, one day you're gonna wake up and all of a sudden your hair is you're gonna have a thin spot in one spot, and then it's just gonna start getting thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner, and it spreads because that's what colonizing bacteria do when they're dormant. Colonizing bacteria begin to lay dormant for long periods of time, so it's something that you should really think about. Because even as I wear hair extensions, my scalp is cleansed. No, like the longest I'll go without my scalp being cleansed is 2 weeks. It should never be 30 days. But, do your thing. Do your thing, 21, do your thing. I just went through that and I shut it down. That's what I'm saying. Like, please enlighten me. There are new studies coming out every day with contradicted info. But that's because y'all need to understand the science of the human body. Y'all think this is a, do y'all understand what a study is? Like, look up the definition of the word study. A study is something that they're looking into. It's not absolute. They're studying it. And as they're studying, they're writing down their findings. So why are you changing your mind based on what they're studying? It's a study. It's not a definite fact. This is coming to you as a research scientist. A study is not definite fact. A study, if I'm doing a study, I am learning it. I'm researching. I'm trying to figure it out. A study, different studies, they're finding information. They're figuring it out. It's not absolute. Science is not absolute like that. When it comes to causes, they don't know the causes. Certain things are in science are absolute, like gravity, right? Like certain forms of matter, like certain things are absolute, yes. But causes are not absolute. A cause, it cannot be absolute. A cause is studied. Of course, the information is going to be contradictory. They're studying. But because y'all so used to following YouTubers, y'all look at studies the way they uneducated YouTubers do. And YouTubers look at studies as absolute information. A study is not absolute. It's a study. Oh my God. Like, the English language is complicated sometimes, but we in America and we know it. A study is something that is still being researched. But guess what's not being researched? The fact that all of the different forms of yeast and bacteria that live on their scalp, their favorite environment is wet, humid environments full of oil. That is not something that's being studied. That's a fact. It's absolute. But the things that y'all talking about, these are studies. New studies are coming out. Yes, because there are new brands paying these scientists to study these things. And that's what y'all don't understand. Y'all like, oh, this study said that that shampoo is bad. And what you should use is co-wash and conditioners. Follow the money. Because none of these scientists are doing any of this research for free. Scientists are not getting up in the morning, I really want to know about hair products for Black women. No, ma'am. Somebody paid the scientists. So the same people who had the whole lawsuits for the relaxers are the same people who paid the scientists to do certain forms of research and certain studies on box relaxers done by Black women at home. That's what a study is. For a scientist to study something, you have to pay me. You gotta pay me. You gotta pay a scientist. You gotta pay them to pull out all of their equipment, to run all of those tests, to write the articles. And then as you find things, you write it in the article. These articles, some of the articles that y'all are reading are still being written and the things that you've read have been studied, and the things have been written in those journals over 10, 15-year periods. And they've been studying it for 15 years, and every time they find something new, they be like, oh, let me put that in here real quick. Okay, back to the board. It's not absolute. They're still studying it. It's the difference between a study and factual information, bro. And if it's like, oh, she passionate, I am, because I'm a scientist, and everybody needs to stay in their lane. A study is not absolute. I'm studying. There's a difference. And then as a scientist, as I'm doing my study, I go back to the things that are absolute. Like, one thing that's absolute, or that I know I can go by, is like the periodic table, right? certain elements and certain things like that that I could put in the things that are absolute. And that's what helps me study and what makes me reach a conclusion. That's what helps me form the scientific method. I have my hypothesis first, which is my educated guess. And from my educated guess, from my hypothesis, I do multiple experiments. And as I'm doing the experiments, I publish my article and my study online for the public to see. Does that mean that everything that's coming out in my study is absolute and you should follow it? No, but I'm a scientist, and as a scientist, my studies are for public record. But it is your job to understand that as a scientist, my studies are not absolute. And it's your job to know basic science of the human body so you can look at my study and take the things that are applicable to you and leave the things that are not. But us arguing and going back and forth gets me nowhere. I've never been able to draw any conclusion and get a conclusion based on any hypothesis from going back and forth with people in comments. It's just not a thing. It's just not a thing, bro. It's not a thing. I love y'all so much, but we have to get to the point where we're able to have conversations. We have to get to the point when we're able to have conversations. It's just as simple as that. Mhm. Y'all, like everything is simplistic, but we just make things so overly complicated. Okay, so we gonna go past. I'm gonna pay whatever, and I'm gonna tip. Listen, I know I went past somebody, but I'm sorry. That was deep. I don't know what I said, but I just want you just want what experience. But and that's the thing. I don't know. Like this part is just my opinion. This is not something to be factual because I know some people won't agree with me. But a cosmetologist is not there to give you an experience. She's there to do her job. I didn't go to work like I can't wait to give people an experience that they've never had before. No, I went to school for 2 years. And then I went and got a cosmetology license, and I have, don't get me wrong, like, oh my God, like anybody who ever sat in my chair, we would have so much fun. Like, I'm like, oh my God, guys, like we would have so much freaking fun. But I'm not there to like give you sparkles and glitter and like, no, I'm here to do what you booked. Yes. I had to take a 2 year class just to make soap from home. Say that. COVID, it was like the dark age for some of y'all, but for the girl. But then I'm not being rude. You my boo, but mindful career woman, you like 25. And COVID was 4 years ago. So you was fresh out of high school. Yep. I sure did. I sure did. I had a client who because before everybody started doing the BBLs, they was doing like the butt injections. And I'm in Vegas. The majority of my clients were strippers and prostitutes. Well, not the majority. That wasn't true. Maybe like 30%. Yeah, about 30% of my clients was there she goes sliding down that pole. What you doing, big boy? You coming my way? Like it was I was not judging because they was big tippers. Okay. You have to cement. If you're not willing to pay for a service or a product, you aren't really supporting the business. That's what I'm saying. Like, so be that. Be that. Be that. Yeah. So that's why too, like last week I didn't really post as much as I normally do because I just I don't I'm trying not to offend nobody. It's just my vibration just goes so low. Like I just feel like I have to take myself so low in vibration to be on YouTube sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when I'm in a mood where I don't feel when I'm in a mood where I feel too reactive, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it because I love every facet of myself. That's why when people be like, "Oh, you're rough," I be like, "No, you're soft," because I love that part of myself. Like I love the part of me. Like how can I not? Because when I was going through hell, it was that part of me. Oh, it was that part of me that everybody's like, "Oh, why are you so rough?" They got me out. So who the hell am I to now? Because it makes some of y'all feel uncomfortable to be like, "No, pipe down. No, don't say that. Bite your tongue." I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But I will watch my tongue because literally everything that I write down and speak out is in front of me. Everything. And the same is for y'all. That's why I make videos like this when y'all like, black hair is hard to do. Abracadabra. I hate my hair. And let me be very clear, creation. I'm talking about what they say. I'm not saying that. Y'all say, I don't like my hair. Abracadabra. Like it's the same shit over and over again. They don't have enough for us. They're judging us. They're judging us. They're judging us. Abracadabra. They always talking about us. They always sucking it into us. This person is messy. She is abracadabra. You're creating as you speak. That's why we're constantly living in the same reality year after year after year after year, decade after decade after decade. That's why nothing is making me happier than seeing the music industry crumble the way that it is. Because abracadabra, I create as I speak, and all y'all speak is death. All of these black women that are rappers, all they talk about is their bodies and how their bodies are toys and to be used. Abracadabra. And then y'all walking around saying it. Abracadabra. So y'all are getting what y'all are speaking out. Y'all are so powerful and y'all don't even know it. Y'all are so powerful that y'all are being manipulated against your own selves to cast spells over your own lives. Nobody has to come up against the black woman. Nobody has to come up against the black woman. Don't nobody got to put no spell on the black woman. The black woman speaks out spells over her life every fucking day. Every day. Every day. And when somebody tells you to stop speaking the spell, they get attacked. Because black hair is not harder to do. It just takes more effort and more understanding of a routine and a pattern. Our creator wanted our hair to be harder to do. Abracadabra. It's supposed to be harder for us. The world is out to get us. Abracadabra. What up? Like, I create with my words is what abracadabra means. And all y'all do is speak death out to each other. All y'all do, y'all favorite people to watch are people who speak death. Drama. Oh, let me read. Oh, like abracadabra, my baby. That's why I'm not entertaining none of you. I create with my words. Saw this the other day. Women think they have a curl pattern that's healthy and straightening, and it's horrible. Yeah. Spells people say every day. Listen, 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 listen. Spelling. They don't call it spelling for nothing. Y'all better wake up. And guess what? Woke content and all of that has been around for a long time, long time. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that, because if you don't get it by now, there's nothing I can say. Yes, we don't need to be speaking anything negative into existence. Like, don't even enter anything that you watch that encourages you to speak anything out negative. Don't watch it. Like, I'll say things like, "Oh yeah, I saw the video that people made about me," or I may hint at a person, like when I say, "Oh, what a flexi rod said in their beard." I only know because I'll see it. Like when I say see it, I mean like I'll be scrolling and then I'll look at the thumbnail and like, oh, talking shit about me with a flexi rod set in this beard. But I don't take that energy in. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It's just transferred from one person to the next. And a word never received is a word never spoken. So if I don't receive it and if I don't take in your energy, guess where the fuck it's going? Back to you. But it's gonna be charged up and doubled up. Oh, because don't get it twisted. I defend myself spiritually. But I need y'all to like really open your eyes and see when y'all being rage baited against each other. That's what it is. Black women are like, we are not against each other. Like, you don't need to attack braiders. They're trifling. No, they're not. By law, they're not allowed to shampoo and blow dry your hair. Some are like, fuck it, they can come if they want to come. But some are like, I'm not about to chance it. So come with your hair already washed and blow dried. And I stand with them. Why should they risk they stuff for y'all? What? Oh no, I didn't skip yours because we had that convo. I skipped it because I thought you was talking to the mindful career. And it's a whole y'all having a whole conversation. And now I don't got my glasses on, which I need to put them on. So I'm clicking on y'all stuff I still gotta get all the way to the bottom. And I'm clicking on y'all stuff and y'all talking to each other. So hey boo, I graduated hair school and I'm about to get my license. Thanks, you play a bit. Oh, listen, stick to the science and don't let nobody talk you into having no little rinky dink prices. You charge your worth. You charge your worth, and I'm not gonna tell you. I can't tell you what you worth. Charge your worth, and the ones that's supposed to be there will be there. Period. And I'm so happy for you. Once someone who said that, yeah, somebody said they wash it on someone. We already. In Black culture, it's common, but it needs to stop. That's why everybody has scalp inflammation and follicle disorders. Okay. That's not true. I need you, babe. You got a whole lot of learning to do because that's not how science works. It's not how science works. It's not how it works. I'm 49. My hair is the healthiest ever been, but you're right. Probably should wash sooner. I know better is to do better. Yeah. And like I said, 49 is young. I have the client that I had yesterday is 57 and her hair is to her butt. But the middle of it just randomly started falling out like out of nowhere. Like just one day it's all falling out. And all of her practices were some of her practices was the same way that you saying yours are right now. Everything works until it doesn't. Just like you can eat like the I use my father as an example. My father died when he was like 62, 63, but he ate like trash his whole life. His body ain't break down and stop working. His body didn't fail him the day that, like after a couple of months or even after 2 or 3 years. It took over 50 years for his body to shut down and say, we can't do this no more. And then he fell out and died. It takes time. Washing your hair once a month, okay. Because I just don't want to, because it's, I don't want to make her feel like we science is constantly changing and evolving. Certain parts of science are changing and evolving. But when is the last time gravity changed? You still gonna fall. You still not gonna be here no more if you jump out of a plane. You're not randomly gonna fly. You're gonna hit the floor. Certain things are absolute. Certain things in science are changing. The things that are in, listen to me, the things that are changing in science are people's studies. Do y'all listen to me? The studies that people have are changing. Like it is a study that they put out that said, okay, this is where civilization started this year. This is how old the planet is because they were studying the crust of the earth. And through studying, their findings showed them this because it was a study. Studies are always evolving, but the studies are changing. The data is changing. Science, the world, the human is not changing. Gravity is still gravity. Water is H2O. The hair is still made up of 3 bonds: the salt bond, the hydrogen bond, the disulfide bond. Science, certain things are absolute. Studies are not absolute. They're being studied. Oh, come on, y'all. Come on, sexist. It's also pharmaceutical as well. That's why you have to look at the past, present, the in between to know your body and how it works inside and out. Yes, ma'am. People get on my nerves with the 3 inches with the 3 inches of hair saying I'm not using this and that. Listen, look, not just looking at the conclusion, but also looking at the methods as well and credibility. Not everyone will agree on how to use the information. But the thing is, you can't check nobody's credibility if you not okay. We gonna talk about that another day because that's. I know, babe, but even though you just had your first baby, girl, I had my first baby when I was 21. And I was just because I had a kid do not mean that I knew anything about life. And when I got pregnant, I was doing hair. I never like had time off. I worked until my water broke with both babies. So, and I was 21. I still, when I think of my 20, when I sit back and think about what I knew in my mind at 21 and what I know now, I didn't know shit. I really didn't. And I remember when women in they, even women in their mid 30s to early 40s would be like, girl, you just get started. I would take offense to it. Like, girl, you don't know because you old. Yes, they knew. They knew what the fuck they was talking about. Like, you ain't seen nothing yet. BBLs are for the male gaze. That's listen, no, it's not. That is not for the male gaze. BBLs are for women to compete with each other because I haven't met one man, or not man, I don't mean no man. I haven't heard one man say that he like it. They all think that it looks stupid. They all think that y'all look like oranges with two toothpicks stuck in at the bottom. Men do not think that it look good. They think that it look just as stupid as it looks. Y'all like it. Y'all do it for each other. Women are competing with each other. Women don't wear makeup for each other. Men ask you, can you please take them centipedes off your face? You don't wear it for each other. I mean, for men, you wear it for each other. That's why when lashes first started, they were really, really cute and subtle. Now they look like bats, like different members of the bat community because everybody's competing. Who lashes can get longest and fullest? It just gets more and more aggressive. But I feel like getting your hair done itself is an experience. And like just sitting with a professional cosmetologist is the experience. Like when you go have a baby in any other form of anything, like when you go to a restaurant, the waiter and the chef is doing their job. They not like, "Ooh, waiters are doing cartwheels." No, they're doing their job. The experience is whatever type of business they have and what they provide while they're there. But but no, it's not for male gaze. Women are competing with each other. Like, and I think that's one thing that irritates me because it's been going on since the beginning of time. Like when you go watch the movie Woman King or Woman God or Woman King or whatever, women have been competing for dudes forever. Women compete with each other. So that like it doesn't have anything to do with men because if it has something to do, if makeup has something to do with men, women wouldn't wear it because men don't like it. If BBLs and stuff like that has something to do with men, they wouldn't do it. And all men are not pressed about big asses. That's why a bunch of black dudes can be with a white girl that got a back in the crack because it's not that deep. They don't do it for men, they do it for each other. My oh yeah. I love my hair. I actually talk to my hair. Oh my god! Like I love you. You about to be a moderator? I swear to God! Like literally, just because you said that, I'm gonna take a screenshot of your name so I remember. Like, don't you know your body is alive? It's still attached to you. If you start eating crazy, your body is gonna respond. Guess what? If you go through like when my father died, my follicles was sad with me too. All my hair fell out from stress. Your body, like, it's real. Like, talk to it. And the 7 day challenge, they already know. Scientific brushing is like ritual. What do you mean? Yes, I love this. Thank you, girl. That's why people keep saying we are our own worst enemy because we are. We are our own worst enemy. Yep, spelling is automatic and prayer happens without ceasing. Mm. But see, prayer is just asking. But prayer without meditation is pointless. Because with prayer, you just like, God, can I have? Can I have? Can you please? Can you please? I'm feeling like this. Can I have? I don't want to feel this way. Can we do? Lord, will you please? Lord, I'm trying. Lord, will you help me with this? Lord, will you please? That's praying. But you don't get answers when you pray. When you pray, you're just asking. So spelling would be considered intentions. You're setting intentions and you're speaking it out, because abracadabra, I create with my words. But meditation is when you listen. When you're meditating, you're not doing anything but listening. You're not talking. You're not asking God for nothing. You're not crying. You're not complaining. You're not doing nothing. You are focusing on one thing, nothing else, and you listening. It's a difference. So spelling and prayer are like that. Because faith without works is dead. That's where the spelling comes from. Your journaling. Girl, we can't even, girl, that's a whole nother conversation, girl. That's why it's so important to keep moving when the world is out to judge us. But this is the thing. Who said the world was out to judge us? And that's a part of spelling, and that is a part of the brainwash that I want everybody to get over. I have been living in Las Vegas since I was 16 years old. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I went back and forth, and I didn't settle in Vegas like permanently and just accepted this is where I was going to live until I was about 20, right? And any form of negativity that I've ever got from a woman has only been from a Black woman. I have never had a fight, an argument, a debate, like nothing. I have never felt judged, never like. And in Vegas, they call Vegas the spaghetti bowl, and it's a melting pot because there's somebody from everybody. I have literally had more white friends than I can count, like Mexican, Samoan, Peruvian, like you name them, I've had them as friends. And I will go, when I say friends, I don't mean like, oh, we going out. No, I'm talking like even in my younger years, like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, relationships with their mothers, with their parents, like at their house. I haven't came in contact with a racist one that's against me yet. They would compliment me so much. I would have to tell them, okay, like it's enough. Like I'm fine. I'm comfortable. Like they would go out of their way to make me feel comfortable. That is a fucking illusion. Is there racism? Yes, absolutely. But abracadabra. Listen. Because it's not everybody's reality. Me and my mom was at Walmart a couple of months ago, and I remember it was this Black chick, and she was walking, and she had like her hair in this big old fro, and she was fully clothed. But when she walked past, and it wasn't like a natural fro, it was a flexi rod set. She had a perm rod set, you could clearly tell. And she had big old, like, cute, curly hair. And when I say it was like she parted the sea, like everybody, including me and my mama, was like, damn. Like, and I'm not it ain't a hater bone in my body. I can't help it. If I see a beautiful woman, I have to tell her she's beautiful, or I feel like a hater. And my mom, I get it from my mama. My mama louder than me. And the girl looked at us. My mama was like, girl, you better work it, girl. She was like, thank you. Like, the world is not out to get us. We're out to get us way worse than the world is. Black women judge each other and disrespect each other 10 times faster than any other race on this planet. So, no. Did you need some good energy to succeed? I overcharged good energy today. Actually, it's so funny that you said that. That's why we went live. I was editing a video. I will finish editing it like later on today and some tomorrow because I'm just trying to move slower, you know? This is not that deep. But yeah. I just wanted to address this first because as I was scrolling, I just kept seeing like, oh, in the braiders. And I saw this one girl. I'm not playing her video, but she was like, I went basically she was like she flew all the way to Nigeria to get her hair braided. And it was like four of them in her hair and they was braiding her hair all at the same time. And I was like, let me make this video real quick because braiders are just like constantly being dragged and it's ridiculous. That's the agenda. We were programmed this way. But we was programmed this way before slavery. What are we talking about? Like the first slave master was a black man. The first slave owner was a black man. Black people started fucking slavery. Are you serious right now? The first slave owner was a black man. Do your history. The reason that we can't get ahead is because we constantly want to live in victim mode. Like black people, a black man was the first slave owner. Was the first person to own a slave. The first person to own a slave was a black man. Black people were not the first in slavery. Irish people were. But they had so much unity within themselves, they were able to break free, and they ain't nobody gonna ever fuck with them again. And I bet you they won't. Know your history. Know your history. I try to avoid even discussing hair with other Black women outside of certain spaces in YouTube because their mind is extremely negative. Yeah, because they've all been rage baited against each other. It's literally like watching The Matrix. It's like the women who are arguing in, those are all of the ones that are in the Matrix, just plugged in. They get up in the morning, I'm about to go into a natural blog and argue because we're Black and we're only supposed to look like this. It's stupid, especially if reincarnation is real. If reincarnation is real, you was probably a white lady last time. So this is dumb. Is it necessary to use a weaving net over sewing? It depends on the person's technique. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. It depends on the person's hair. Gravity equals the floor needs a hug. Mhm. People study and become experts on everything but them. And the thing is, I think what irritates me so much, people think that by reading a couple of articles, you then become an expert. You're not an expert because you read some freaking studies. Like, what the hell? That's the part that's annoying. And then, like, you read a couple of articles and think that now you know enough to argue with somebody who's been studying it their whole life because you sat and read articles for a couple of days. It is exhausted. And that's why most people can't find the help that they need because most people are just like, I'm done talking to y'all. Exactly. That's why I went into studying it myself and made sure that I put my consult with CANT and I had everything ready and all my ducks in a row. I love you. That's why you my boo. The media does this though. We'll do an entire new clip on a study and people will believe it as a fact. But the media only does it because they know people will believe it as a fact without doing any research. It's, again, not their fault. It's not their fault. I've had my heart broken before. If you look at somebody and you know that you know that you know, like, this is some bullshit, and your spirit tell you, no, you should walk away. It's you get back with a man that cheated on you, he cheated again. It's your fault. You knew better. He already showed you who he was. You just didn't believe him. Like, you got to do your research. it depends on the person's body, because sometimes your hair can increase in growth and sometimes it can decrease. It just depends on the woman and her body, and you know what her health regimens are. It's just so many different factors that go into that concerning pregnancy. So that case is going to be kind of different person to person, because that's kind of based on like your hormones and how your body is dealing with your pregnancy. Because you have some women like myself where my hair got really thick when I was pregnant, but then you have some women who hair falls out when they're pregnant. So it just depends. Looking the ingredient list and the directions. Yep, exactly. Once you know your scalp's profile, it's just as simple as that. Like just know your porosity, your skin cell turnover cycle, all of that. Mhm. And you can still give yourself a scalp massage. You can still do all of that. Like in other cultures, like in Ayurvedic hair care and stuff like that, yes, they use oil in the hair, but on wash day. And they only use non-comedogenic oils that don't block the pores and the follicles. And they put it on for a short period of time and then they shampoo it off with an intense clarifying shampoo. So it's different. Yeah, you'll remind that I don't know. Safe place over at the 7 day challenge. That's what I'm saying. I know I talk about the 7 day challenge all the time, but why wouldn't I? It's freaking amazing. Like with that week that I didn't post a video or nothing, I didn't feel like I wasn't posting. I didn't even realize it had been a week because I've been talking to them every day. So yes, when my father died, my hair went white at 28 years old with gray hair. Yes, yes, because it changes everything. Like it's your hormones. So I got gray hair too when my daddy died. I was only 23. I was like, oh my god, yeah, like yeah. I was crying all day, every day. My face was broke out. It was just like, oh, yeah, stressed us the hell out, girl. Oh my daddy. Oh my God. That's why when I see women like, I don't need a father or single mother by choice, and it infuriates me because my dad, I don't even want to talk about it. I love you. I'm sending you love, girl. That's hard. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna ask you no questions, my little yellow. Sorry, boo. Yep. Meditation is about focus on one non emotional, provoking thing to center the mind and control your thoughts. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Normally, I stare at fire. I either have an incense and I stare at the smoke to focus, or I stare at a flame. Like I burn a candle and I stare at a flame to focus, or I stare at the sun. But not so much where we live now, but in my old place, I did that every morning. I missed it. That's why I used to get chocolate in the summer. Mm, lady who fought the state of Texas 20 years to braid speaks positive things over her clients while braiding. But the thing is, most cosmetologists do, but just not out loud. Like it's not like prayer, intention, and energy isn't an outward expression all the time. I wish I could say the same. Wish I could say the same. This racism is real. That's when we seem to get together. I come across races, non-black women in my generation all the time, but a lot of their elders adore me. Mhm. But once again, I'm not saying that they don't exist. Obviously, they exist, but you don't have to align yourself with it. Like there's certain races, or not even certain races, certain people in our race who don't relate to anything that have like. Because I need y'all to keep in mind, I came to Las Vegas, Nevada from Detroit, Michigan. So the people that are in Las Vegas, Nevada don't know nothing about the type of shit that you deal with in high school in Detroit, Michigan. It's completely oblivious. Like you jumping each other, fighting. All it doesn't happen at the rate that it happens back home. They were clutching their pearls. Oh my God. Because if you don't accept it as your reality, it is not your reality. Period. I don't care what anybody's talking about. Everybody does not have the same experience. But if you have yourself in alignment with people that have that energy, then that's going to be the experience that you have. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to hear, but it's true. But if I go in a certain atmosphere, because when you really think about it, when you live in certain areas, it's almost like going in different realms. Right now, I'm not about to tell y'all where I live right now, but we used to live in Mountain's Edge. When you live in Mountain's Edge, it's one energy. But if you go to off MLK or Rosa Parks Boulevard, everybody know any street that's named after a black person is the fucking hood. It's completely different. Hell yeah, you better lock your car door. Absolutely, you better lock it or it ain't gonna be there when you come back. But the other neighborhood that I used to be in Mountain's Edge, it was this older white guy that lived on the corner. Me and my husband would go on little dummy food missions at night when the kids and my mom and stuff went to sleep. And we would drive past, and it was this white guy. He would forget to, I don't know how, he would forget to close his car door. I'm talking like the entire car door just open. It was there every morning. Nobody ever took it. Why? Because he was not in a realm with energy that had that type of alignment and that type of energy. It's not. So if you find that you always around racist people, then you need to change the alignment of the type of people that you around. Because that's not everybody's reality. I have traveled inside and outside of this country and and have had amazing experiences. Tell me why black people keep telling me that I'm going to have a bad experience because I'm black. That's oh my God. That's what I'm saying. I have been living in Las Vegas, Nevada for since I was 16. And I've never been called a nigga. Any disrespect that I have ever received in Vegas has only been from a black woman. I've been disrespected by a white person one time, and that was in Oklahoma. And when I was out there seeing my dusty ass brother for his wedding, even though he ain't come to mine. And I was crossing the street. It was like, get out of the street, you nigger. Only time that anybody outside of my race has ever disrespected me. That's how we are brainwashed to this day. No one wants to like. My husband always say, "Whoever wins, white's history." No, 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 no. She flew to Nigeria and she liked it. She got her hair braided for $10. They braided her hair for $10 when you converted to US, and she was basically using that to say like, "Oh, they're better." It's like we're not going there. I know, but that's what it's her video. I don't know. It's her video. I don't know nothing about that. I ain't gonna get into that. I'll leave the video link in the description box when we done so y'all can watch it so y'all don't think I'm making the shit up. Actually, I'm gonna try to find it while we on. No, I'm not. Some of the most richest slave owners were black in America. That's why I'm sick of y'all. When you go, oh, they trying to hold us down. Black people were some of the first slave owners. So shut up. Shut up. And black people sold the black people that are in America right now to the white people who brought the black people over here. There were already black people here, but the ones that were here, the ones that got brought over here were sold to white people by other black people. Know your history. It's ignorant and it's irritating. We are not about to keep being victims. Like, what are we talking about? The first slave, one of the first people to have a slave was black. What are we talking about? And he had black slaves. My nigga. I believe you. I believe you. And I can see that too. I feel like you got hits of it now. I was a hair braider. Peaks. Pre-panorama. A part of me want to get back to it, but another part of me just want to make videos. My patience is short lately. Just trust your spirit. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna tell you what to do. In Chicago, we have a Nigerian hair braider in the most expensive part of the city, the Gold Coast. She's clearly getting clientele. Listen, like, and all Nigerians, and I think it's disrespectful to be like, oh, I'm not gonna pay you your worth. I'm about to go to Africans. I'm gonna go to the Africans because they don't got no worth. They charge low. That's so disrespectful. And I really hope that if everybody matches everybody's price and we got a median price, what are y'all gonna say then? I don't care who started pointing fingers and blaming any woman. I know my history. We have been manipulated into having this mindset. But if you know you've been manipulated into having a mindset, the only person who could change the mindset is you. But the thing is, yeah, we was manipulated into having that mindset a long time ago, but I'm from the D and don't nobody manipulate you to break into nobody's house. Ain't nobody manipulating you to break into nobody's car. Ain't nobody manipulating you to do none of that shit. You do that on your own. That don't got nothing to do with nobody manipulating nobody into nothing. It has everything to do with the decisions that you make for yourself. Point blank, period. Because for every black person that was manipulated to do something, there was 5 more that they weren't able to manipulate. So the question you need to ask yourself is not you. The question you need to ask yourself is, why were you one of the ones that were able to be manipulated? Because everybody didn't get manipulated. Even in slavery, everybody wasn't manipulated. They wasn't. There were people who escaped. There were people who didn't suffer. Everybody's not living in the same reality. So you have to ask yourself, what have you done to lock yourself into this reality? There are certain things that no, we have no control over. But after certain things happen to us, certain things, you have control. And slavery did not happen to us. It didn't. In 2024, it didn't. We all have control. We don't have to still be breaking into each other's houses. Black women don't still all have to be going after each other's men. Like, it's this one little girl, like, y'all literally sing songs about that glorify sleeping with each other's men and then crying when it happens to you. Abracadabra. You create when you speak. What are we talking about? Nobody's done anything to black people. Black people, I mean, yes, they did, but we've been out of it. We've been had the tools. But y'all keep speaking death over your own life, destruction over your own life, and then crying and complaining when it comes. You asked for it. You called it in. What are we talking about? Just like everybody want to act like, oh my God, R. Kelly's a pedophile. I'm sorry, everybody knew that Aaliyah was a child. But nobody said anything. You know why? Because the majority of black men were sleeping with women that were way too young for them. And feel how y'all want to feel. I am the product of a man being with a woman that was way too young for him. So get offended. I don't really care. I'm the product of a man being with a woman that was too young for him. And there's no balance in it. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. When my dad died, my hormones. Yep. Oh my God, that's so true. That's what happens. It takes your and it's all about stress. When you stress, it releases hormones in your body. They do certain things to your body. I like doing heart meditations. I close my eyes, dive into compassion, appreciation. The heart speaks. Next time you meditate, just listen. Just listen. Yes, fire or breathing. Yep, fire or my breath. And then to combine the two is like even, it's too much beetroot. Now I have too much. Spread it here, boo. Spread it here. I'm thinking of moving to Texas also. We're going to be moving to Arizona soon. We finally decided on a state. Oh, yeah. You ain't never lied about that. So true. The only. Yep. Yep-a-roonies. Fresh and truly. Oklahoma, my state's next door neighbor. Yeah. I can't do it. Y'all go right ahead. You go right ahead out there with Dorothy. And I don't know. You guys go right ahead. I am okay. I am not a fan. It is ashy as hell out there in Oklahoma. At least the part that I was in was ashy than a mother. I love me some Starbucks. Yeah, that's mad disrespectful. How American hair braiders get so much shade over Africans who had to learn our styles from YouTube at that. Yeah, that's what I said. I wanted to play, I ain't gonna play her video though, but that's what I was like, you went to Nigeria instead of just paying a braider? You know you was in Nigeria for something else. Side piece culture is promoted in the music and Black women listen to it and dance into their spirit. Yes. Yes. And sing right along. Sing right along. And have no problem with it. Until it happens to them. And then it's like, God, why have you done this for me? Abracadabra. I didn't do nothing to you. You did it. Abracadabra. What you been listening to? What you been talking about? What words have been coming out of your mouth? Abracadabra. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Well, my papa wasn't no Rolling Stone. My daddy was just too damn old to be with my fucking mama. He wasn't no Rolling Stone, though. Okay, you talking to somebody else. I bet you talking about. Who was well known in Chicago that R. Kelly was into young girls. Black people made jokes about it. The girls were all called fast. Exactly. Exactly. You know why? And you know why it was okay to do? Because everybody did it. Everybody did it. And the reason that there's no balance and the reason that most of these older Black women are so upset is because their fucking husbands were all dead by the time they were 40 before they got to their 50s. Because if you 19, 20 and your husband is 35, if you 19 and your husband about to be 40, or if you 21, 22 and your husband 56, by the time y'all have kids, he gonna be on his last little leg. And then you gonna be starting over. You're gonna be starting over in your 50s. Because he's gonna be gone before then. My mama was 19, my daddy was 31. If my father was still living right now, he would be about 73. Yeah, about 72, 73. My mom isn't 60 yet. The phase of my mama is still going to the gym, running around. She's still climbing mountains, mountain climbing, all types of shit. My daddy would have been 73. Mhm. Yeah, that's because most of the men from older generations are with women way younger, and that they can't help it. It comes from slavery, or even before slavery. I'm sorry, I don't care. I don't accountability. Even our ancestors, some of them were fucked and need to have accountability too. Because I have a 12-year-old daughter. My daughter's going to be 13 years old soon. And if this was 50, 60 years ago, my daughter would be married off to a 40-year-old man at 12 because she started her period. Fucking disgusting. So we're not gonna. Why are we acting like, oh my God, R. Kelly? R. Kelly is doing what his forefathers did. Ronald Isley, what? Ronald Isley did it. Michael Jackson. What are we talking about? They all did it, but nobody said anything. It's a video right now. Y'all can go look it up. It's this pastor. He gotta be 60 something years old. And he just married one of his congregational members. They got a church, they got a school in the church. She been going to that school since she was a little girl. And she just turned 19. And now they married. And this motherfucker 60 something years old just married this his 19-year-old congregational member. And when he talking about it in church, it's all of the older black women. When he say, this my business, this my wife, she grown, it's all of the black women standing up. Yes sir, yes sir, yes pastor. Accountability. Miss me with that shit. Like, miss me with it. Y'all been doing it for decades unchecked. R. Kelly just got caught. R. Kelly is just the scapegoat that they used. But they've been doing it forever. It's been disgusting forever. It's the newer generations that's starting to be like, okay, she a little too young. It's within these last couple years, these last few decades that we've been like, okay, she too young. But my father's generation, what the fuck? No. My dad had a friend named Ricky, and he married a chick that she was so fucking young. It didn't make no sense. He was like 32, 33 years old, and she was like 17. They got married, had a fucking baby and everything, but then she ended up escaping. She ended up getting away. She snapped out of it like, what am I doing? His old ass. And she ended up leaving him and being with somebody else that was her age. And when I was a kid, it was like, oh, Uncle Ricky's so heartbroken. Oh, that's so sad. But now as an adult, Uncle Ricky was a fucking pedophile. But we don't want to call it that. Like, oh, she has a period. She's grown. Oh, okay. R. Kelly was following the men who came before him. Period. He's just the one that they hung to dry. Some of us don't know these things to you. I'm about to ask my mother how old she was when she hooked up with my father, just like that. They were married, but still, I'll be starting this just because. Don't be starting stuff. And the thing is, my parents didn't hide it from me. I always knew that. And my auntie used to be like, hey, cradle robber. But I was a kid. I didn't know what that meant. But, oh, sorry, I have to get rid of some of this good energy. Suddenly, you feel like getting up and cleaning. I'm going to do that today, too. Look at seeing curse about my wanna be gangster grandma again. I hope they get all of them in the black community to be accountable. Girl, I won't hold my breath. I'm back. My mom was 20 and my dad was 43. She said he was looking too. What a character. And listen, this is the thing. My dad was an old suave ass nigga. Listen, my mama from the west side, my daddy was an old smooth talking east side nigga. Big tall, about 6'2". So don't, and yeah, my mama ain't look like no little girl. My mama ain't look like no little kid. My mama was thicker than the motherfucking Snickers. It wasn't nothing about my mama that looked 19. So it wasn't that type of perspective. I'm just saying. Yeah. Their minds are easier to manipulate. Get them before they realize how powerful they are. Yeah. My dad and my mom are. Yep. And to me, that's how it's supposed to be. Like my husband's 2 years older than me. Girl, do your thing, girl. I I don't. That would never be. Well, I'm already married, so that could never be my thing. But I'm the child of it, and I see the effects of what it is when it sounds nice in theory, but when you see what it looks like to have the person that you thought you would die with die, and you're not even in the prime of your life yet, and you got to start all over, date again, meet somebody new, like you're doing it all over. So it's, but I mean, whatever. And I mean, that's like it sounds nice in theory, but like my mommy's okay now, but it's been hell. And it's mainly because he was way too fucking, he was way, the age gap was too wide. My father lived through his whole life, like through his prime and all of it with my mother. She had to speed up and do everything too fast. So when my mom was 19 and she's getting with him at 31, my mother went from a 19-year-old woman to a 31-year-old woman like that. So she skipped over all of her 20s, like everything that you do in your 20s, she skipped over all of that and went straight to acting and performing as if she was a 31-year-old woman. And but you know, that's y'all. I ain't gonna. Oh, you said daddy issues. No, I understand. I'm not judging you. I'm just sharing my experience. I'm just sharing my experience. And if you feel different, then that's. But from my experience, I don't think it's. My grandmother was younger than my grandfather by much, but he died at 35. She never remarried, and I saw her struggle to raise her kids herself. I tried dating a 20-year-old at 19. It didn't work. Hey, do y'all thing. I ain't talking to this because I know, girl, I know it's a bunch of women that's like, I'm going to be with a grandpa. I'm going to be with Grandpa Earl. Leave me alone. I love Grandpa Earl. Girl, be with Grandpa Earl. I'm not tripping. I'm just sharing my experience. I'm speaking from like, if you marry Earl, I'm the kid that you would have with Earl. And I'm just giving my opinion as the kid that you had with old Earl. Didn't have any men in our family. I'm sorry. My dad died when I was 23. And my mother had just turned 50. Right? Yeah, she had just turned 50. So my dad died when he was 63 then. Yep. Mm-hmm. Man. But do your thing, 21, do your thing. That ain't none of my business. I don't know how we got here. We only started this live just so we can talk about braiders and stuff. So braiders, I got your back. And girl, women either. Like women, let me tell you something. I saw this video. My mama told me about this person, and all I can say is this person, and she like 50. Like 50 something, and she used to be a prostitute too, and she only messes with young dudes like 20 and under. I have a son, and it's not that I'm denoting the importance of women doing it too, but abracadabra, I create when I speak, and the words that I want to let proceed out of my mouth at the thought of an older woman trying to talk to my son, and my son is gonna be fine, just like his daddy. Fine, because my DNA is in there. The thoughts that I have about what I would do to a woman in her 50s, trying to put her little cobweb coochie on my son, the things that I would do. Oh my God. So I'm not acknowledging it. But Lord, I would look the judge in his face and be like, we don't even got to do this. I did it. And I'll do it again. I did it. Yes, I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. And it was good. I did it and I liked it and I did it. We married. Me and my husband could have conjugal visits. Then they'll be like, why you missing the arm? They be like, don't go over there by seeing husband. She crazy. I mean, by seeing son. She crazy. Look what she did to me. She gonna have no arms, and I'm gonna only leave her one leg. One leg. And I'm gonna take the toes off for the one leg that I leave. Like, now I ain't gonna kill nobody. Because I ain't trying to spend life in there. I can do about 10 years. I could do about 10. But then, how you gonna catch me if I ain't got no fingerprints? I've said enough. I have said enough, and now I'm gonna incriminate myself. But hopefully, it never happens. Because if it's an older chick that try to talk to my son, I'ma just delete this video. So, and you can't incriminate me for something. This is entertainment. But let me find out. Swear to God. Said his moving to California's other next door neighbor. Yeah, I'm just moving next door. Yes. Yes. It'll take a long. No death. I'm not killing nobody. I'm gonna make you walk around with one leg with no toes. What happened to you? I was messing with this young boy. I was messing with this young boy, it's Sendow's son. They call him Deuce, and she cut off both my arms and my leg and my toes. Why your lip look like this? She took my bottom lip too. No. Oh, yeah, you're right. That cobweb, she been practicing cobwebs. Ain't been nobody in there. Elastic that's stretched out is worse than plastic. That's what happened. Can you watch? Yep, I'm gonna do it live, and it's gonna be from one of them, one of them streams, one of them private streams, and I'm gonna have this voice on. I'm gonna be like, listen up. This is the little freak-a-leak that thought she could fill on my son. So here's her arm. And then that's just how it would go. That's just how it's gonna go. Like, that's just how it's gonna go. So she's just gonna fall over more toes. Listen, no toes in the leg. She could kick the foot, but run me them toes. Run me them toes. I got my uterus cut open twice. And the second time he tried to kill me, he tried to take me out. I'm down on my friend's table. And then he was screaming until he was about 1 year old. And if you think that you're gonna bring your old ass in here talking to my son, you got me up. Cause I ain't worried about my daughter as much because her daddy crazy. So we got that handle. Plus, she's me. And so she and my daughter ain't for the bullshit, no way. But oh, my son, oh girl. Yeah, bring all the drinks. Bring all the drinks. Bring the drinks. Bring the drinks. Let me find out. Mommy, I love her. We're getting married. I'm gonna be like, that's fine. You're gonna call me in the middle of the night. Mom, I don't know what happened. I'm like, oh, me neither. Or do I? Or do I know exactly what happened to your old funky ass? You just never know. I don't care. Wiggle your big toe. She ain't gonna be able to wiggle nothing. I'm taking that one first. I'm taking the big toe first. And I'm gonna tell my son, I'm gonna say, you okay? She gonna be missing both arms, a leg, and them toes. And ain't nobody gonna be able to prove it. I don't care. I said it out loud. Somebody else was watching my videos and saw it and wanted to do it. It ain't my fault. You're playing with me, dog. And I'm not playing. I am so serious, bro. Dog, I ain't never been more serious about nothing in my life. On God. Like, on God. On God. Like my son, oh baby. Like, it's before you have kids, you be like, oh, I kill somebody. I wish I would. Before I had them, I was all extra. I wish somebody would. I kill. But then when you actually have them, I'm not yelling. I mean it in the most calm. Oh my God. Like, I'm going to be the last thing you see on God. I did it, Judge. I sure did. Mom, where my girl go? I'm going to be like, I told you she wasn't the one. Come give mommy a hug. I'll get my uterus cut open for nothing. Go on with your little funky fluff. You've been passing that little cat around for 50 years. Now you want to come up here and drop it over on my son's plate? No, you go and get. He needs fresh stuff. Fresh. His age. didn't have that cat sitting on that counter for 50 years. Go on, leave him alone. Go on, leave him alone. Special Kool-Aid, like, what happened? You know she was older. You know she probably had high blood pressure. I don't know. No. Mommy doesn't know. Leave one. It's just the pinky toe. Actually, you're right. Just the pinky toe, because that's the one that's just there for no reason. I ain't acting like y'all want to be gangster grandma. I'm acting like a crazy person. But this is only for somebody messing with my son. I'm not just saying I'm gonna cut people's arms and legs off and all of their toes except for the pinky toe. But you know what? I think just leaving the big toe may be better than just leaving the pinky toe. Don't you think? Cause it be like, damn, like, what happened to the rest of your toes? You just got the big pink gum with it. She was spinning on that little monster, man. How did we get here? How did we get here? If you guys watching, we'll probably tap our phones and reading our mail. Well, my son is 11 right now, so we don't have that problem. So this is a fictional story, Mr. Officer. Mind your business. Get off of YouTube. Yeah, we writing a little book. We're writing a little fiction novel. We call it Where the Old Eggs Crack. Where the old eggs crack. Michael Jordan Jr. Hey, listen, Linda, listen. I'm just letting y'all know I was gonna go. You did, and I got it. I got all of it. We about to go, but I'm just making sure I don't miss somebody. But you know, that was just a fictional story. As long as no old chicks try to talk to my son when then we'll be okay. Cause that's not. I didn't get my uterus cut open and spent almost 3 weeks on bed rest for my son to be messing with Harriet Tubman. Like, it's not happening. And she gonna be Harriet Tubman to him based on his age. My wanna be gangster grandmother will get on the phone when she mad and start cussing. Where the old eggs crack and where they backs used to bend them back. You're not about to bring your experience, little glory hole, over here to my son. Girl, listen. All right. So we just making sure. We just making sure we know. And you just putting it out there. So in years to come down the line, I'm gonna be like, Judge, I told her on the YouTube. Lord. In 2024. It was 5/9/2024 at approximately 3:15 p.m. Pacific time in Vegas, huh? I said it. I told her, huh? Yes, I did. She didn't believe me. All right. All right. So, love you guys so much. Make sure if you haven't done so already, I didn't share the screen again, so just rewind it to the very beginning where I put it on the screen, like the braiders license and what they can and cannot do, and you can rewind it to watch it at the very, very beginning, and then it's in the comments, right? It's 3 different links. The very, very last link, if I'm not mistaken, is the one. If the very last link, if I'm not mistaken, is the one that that takes you right to Braiders, but just make sure that you guys go ahead and check it out. Thank you, Bill, for putting the links up. I always appreciate you so much. Thank you. Yeah, but crack your eggs with Earl or whatever the dudes from your generation name is, Daquan. Like, by the time my son is old enough, like people, the people in his generation, they're gonna be named Blanket and Star Chips and roller polar and stuff, because everybody, you know, got free butterfly. Those are the girls that better be talking to my son. A girl named Butterfly and Lollipop. But I know I better not see no Josephines talking to my son, huh? No Shaniquas. Because by the time Shaniqua is gonna be my generation trying to talk, girl, you talking about somebody missing? Mm-mm. It's over. Somebody mess with my kids. The career is over. I'm going to jail. If somebody touch my kids, jail. The P. Lock a player up. That's where I'm going. It ain't even no need to talk about it, dog. That's where I'm going. No questions asked. If somebody touch my kids. Nobody touched my kids, so I'm not messing with nobody. But it's gonna be like, get the rubbing alcohol, cause you gonna need it. And I was laughing at somebody else. Yes, I am. I'll put the link in the description box again. Oh no, what am I talking about? You already put it right here. Yes, I am. But real quick before we leave, thank you for asking this question. I'm taking one-on-ones, but when you first book, you're not booking the appointment, you're making an appointment request. Once you make the appointment request, right, then I have to confirm it. But the appointment is only confirmed once you pay the invoice. So you have to pay the invoice and then I confirm the appointment. That's how it works. Be there watching with the cane in my hand, ready to help. It's going down. And my son gonna be fine, just like his daddy. So get your hormones together. Yes. Looking at this car every day. Y'all. So I love you guys. Check the links in the description box for all of the information, and make sure that if you guys overhear anything with some people like, oh, braiders are lazy because you got to come with your hair washed and blow dried, send them these links and just show them the State Board of Cosmetology and how the State Board of Cosmetology does not allow a braider to shampoo or blow dry the hair or use any tools like that on natural hair. They can only use tools on extensions or hair extensions or that are no longer attached to a human being or hair fibers. They're not able to do anything, any type of bomb manipulation to hair that is attached to the scalp. Again, make sure you check the links in the description box. I love y'all. Our next video is going to be tomorrow, but vote really quick. Would y'all prefer a post at like noon, right? So earlier in the day at noon or like 6 p.m. at night? 12 noon or 6 p.m. Please vote really quick. And if you're watching this on replay, I'm only going to sell tickets to it on my personal website. 6 p.m. Okay. So 6 p.m. it is. That's the first person to drop the time. And I think so far that's the only one that's dropping it before we leave. So make sure you are back here on my channel at 6 p.m. tomorrow. And that's 6 p.m. Pacific time. So it'll be 9 in other places. So make sure you check that out, because we're going to be doing a video on hair shaft disorders and follicle disorders. All right. So I will see y'all tomorrow at 6. So it's 6 o'clock Pacific time because I'm in Vegas. And so it'll be 9 o'clock in like where I'm from. So it'll be like 9 o'clock in the D. It'll be 9 o'clock in Detroit, but 6 o'clock here. So I'll see y'all tomorrow at 6 Pacific time, 9 in other places. Yeah, girl. We gonna be in here, okay? So I will see y'all tomorrow. I love y'all. And real quick, like just let me know in the comments as we after this is over, let me know if whether or not this taught you anything. Please share the links so you can show people braiders are not even legally supposed to wash and blow dry your hair. They are not being lazy by not doing it.